Hello internet, and today it's the usual showcase of Cyrene, but yeah, we're almost done with like pretty much all the archetypes that she buffs. In fact, I do think this should be the final like archetype in its own. It should be Mydei right here. Well, I say archetype, but he's pretty much a HP change direct attacker, but I would say he's kind of like more overshadowed by Castrus. However, though, now that Cyrene does buff Mydei, what does the buff do to him? Like, is it good now? We'll find out today. But everything's here from the Creative Experience survey. We won't be wasting too much time on this because I think it's easier to just show you how the team would work. And voila, here's the team. Now, there are certain issues with Mydei, right? First of all, Mydei isn't the best against like just singular bosses, nor is he good against like AoE, like full AoE, because this entire can mostly have like triple targeting moves. It's a big issue with him. I would think, you know, Cyrene would solve that, which it does solve another issue, I would say. First of all, the lack of more damage. Well, we do get 200% crit damage increase through Cyrene with this. This is big, okay? Now, you do get different effects here, which I think is kind of a waste, because if Mydei's not in the Vendetta state, you get the action advance, but he's probably gonna always be in the Vendetta state most of the time. But this is the most important part. If Mydei's in the Vendetta state, he'll automatically use one instance of Godslayer Be God, which is his big attacking move basically, without consuming any charge. This makes Mydei so much better on paper, right? But I would love to just check it out. How good is he now against this boss? And hey, listen, Honkai can get rough sometimes, especially when a new character comes along and you're looking at zero pulling resources in your account. As the good housewife on the lookout for great deals, I'd like to introduce today's sponsor, Aniba. Aniba offers the best top-up services and it's worth every bang for your buck. The best part is Aniba complies with all of Hoyoverse's guidelines with top-up services, so it's certainly trustworthy, and as usual, I myself has used it, had zero issues with it. You can top up for yourself or for your friends because all you need to do is click the first link in the description, choose the item that you would like to top up, enter your server, and then your UID, complete the payment, and voila, you see your resources in a designated account. No login needed. What's interesting is that there's a 10% cashback on what you're purchasing, or you can claim by going into your orders after purchasing, click on claim, and you'll see the cashback in your Aniba wallet. This cashback can be used for any other purchases in the Aniba website and can top up for Spiral even more. Or heck, pick up a gift or two. It's simple, it's a good deal, and most importantly, it's trustworthy. Check Aniba out and you'll support me as a creator too if you do give it a go. As usual though, no pressure at all. And with that said, let's get back into the video. Now, I'm fighting against this boss without the weakness of the right element because while the other bosses of all MOCs available in this test server is not perfect for Mydei at all. So this is Mydei with like some form of disadvantage. But hey, in the end though, we do have the E1 tribute on here. Well, she's E1, she has the DDD, so it's the same amount of like 5 stars you would invest in the team as you would do E0 S1 everybody, right? It's basically E1 S0. But anyways, here we got full Chrysalis Air. We have the most amount of stacks on Cyrene. And I feel like this would be a great indicator of how good a team would be is if Cyrene can get the ultimate during the first turn. If she can, that team is going to be a good team. It's going to work out. It's not going to like feel like a waste at all if we're able to get the ult off turn 1 with Cyrene. But anyways, here comes the damage output. They didn't hit Mydei at all. That's insane. Well, now that they do know, we have the turn with Mydei. It's autoplay simulator. We're in Vendetta state now. We're probably never going to leave it, which is why I say it's kind of a waste with part of Cyrene's effect that buffs Mydei. You'll pretty much never get the extra advance to happen, right? Because by the time you have your ultimate, we are already in Vendetta state and we're probably not gonna get out of it at all. Well, let's continue. 16 stacks so far. This with a 17th with Lil Ika 18th. We should have no issue getting to 24 with this, especially with Dance on Tribute, dude. I feel like Tribute with Cyrene and Hyacinth, this will be the trifecta of any Crisis Air teams, dude. If you can do that, you should be able to get the first turn on ultimate in very quickly. Well, I wouldn't say quickly, but you'll get it in time. It's gonna DDD push in right there. You're gonna attack me now. Hopefully everyone goes into Mydei. All of those bounces, not a singular one went to Mydei. Isn't that insane? Well, we do have the ultimate in here though. This would definitely provoke them, and as you can tell, because there were too many mobs, we weren't able to like split the damage to the other elite. This is one weakness with Mydei outside when you're fighting too many enemies or when you're fighting too little enemies. Let's see if Cyrene can help out with that though. The moment I get a buff, right? We're almost there now. 23 to 24 right now. A really clutch turn from Hyacinth, man. I only got the turn because DDD pushed her. Let's get the Q in there. We should activate our ult right away now. Get the little Ika damage in as well. So this will activate everyone else's ultimate. I'm gonna start by using I wonder who. I'll be buffing Tribi first, I think, and then instantaneously use Tribi's ultimate. That way I'll like probably reset all the follow-up attacks, I think. I'll get another dance push as well, which is always nice, but not enough to get an extra turn. But yeah, now our setup should be complete. We trigger Tribute again with the lowest amount of energy right now, so that is min-max again. Now we get the buff in for Mydei. Finally, we have everything set up. Here comes the follow-up attack. We are doing such great damage, even with Tribute. And let's check out what we're dealing with. Now, first of all, Mydei, the crit damage on Mydei right now does not look like a lot, but it's because the buff only adds to crit damage during the attack, right? During the enhanced attack right here, yeah. The moment we did Cyrene's we trigger Godsender Begot, which appears right here. He doesn't take a turn himself, though. It's just like him taking action right here. Good to know. We'll trigger the ult as well. And I noticed, oh, I should have used his ult first then, right? Because now he uses Godsender Begot first before the ultimate, which I guess, well, it's a waste. But look at the damage. A million damage from a Mydei to 2 enemies. That is actually really good. Because that's all the crit damage buff, guys. But yeah, you don't get to see it, though, unfortunately. But the effect just then really does make Mydei's team clear way faster. You're essentially getting like an action advance to do the Godsender Begot without costing any charge. So he can do it again right now when he reaches 150 charge. Which is why I say for Cyrene, when you put it in a Mydei team, it feels like it improves the Mydei team by a lot. Like a lot. Alright, now let's play this calmly. I want to play this smart as well. I'm going to wait for you to summon your shenanigans and then provoke all of them. Not that I think it matters that much. And I do feel like I'm wasting energy with this, but whatever. We'll just go for the ultimate first. We have enough for Godsender Begot again. And the ultimate, so why don't I use it? Check this damage out. 700k done. We're going to buff Mydei again. Check out on the right of this icon right here. We should just trigger Mydei's Godsender Begot right here. Right there. It's like, bang, 1.1 million. Easy peasy. It's actually like a Sunday action event. And he does way more damage way faster. It's really solid improvement for a Mydei team. I'm almost gonna say it's valid for a Mydei team if somehow you're just a really big fan of Mydei. I think this is the best option for you. However, though, in the end, Mydei himself, not exactly the strongest character ever. But I don't let that deceive you. He can still clear absolutely anything. Well, so far, at least so far. But when we talk about like potential future, though, you never know, man. The moment version 4 drops, maybe he just becomes irrelevant, but who knows? Alright, we did clear the entire wave, and we're still at our 0 cycle. What the? Okay, that is better than I thought, I think. What the hell? Now, we're gonna wait for you to do your Kage Bunjins. There we go, and then we're gonna start with our ultimate again. This will convert another future stat into recollection, I think. Oh, actually, no. Well, I still think we're okay for the most part. Let's just go for a skill here. No recollection, only from Real Ika, so we need to take one of my own turn. I wonder if I can get the 0 cycle clear, essentially what I'm thinking about, but yeah, probably not. I would need to do so much damage. It's possible though, right? Do we kill 2 mobs there? I think Tribby should be able to do the follow-up attacks from Tribby. It's just actually, it's so underrated. We'll buff Mydei again. That'll activate Godsender Begot instantly right on this action. So we're gonna beat 2 of the mobs. I think only 1 actually. 1.1 mil done again. Yeah, I mean, 24% left. Not exactly a 0 cycle clear, huh? But dude, we're so close, man. Now, if you're wondering, the team to beat would be Castrus, where we did 0 cycle clear this very easily. Now, I will say, do remember this guy does not have the weakness, does not have the perfect weakness for Mydei at all. And I will say this boss on its own is just not a good matchup even for Mydei. Look at this damage, right? When he's like single target, it's not exactly the best option for Mydei, but well, we'll deal with it. The fact that he's still like doing what he's doing though is already impressive to me. Alright, now we do activate the freaking Cyrene at the end. After the first ult, man, her freaking aggressiveness, her tempo is really quite high. And we're gonna activate Godsender Begot if you even get to survive this. And thank God we did. So bam, 1.1 million again. It actually gets so good the moment you activate the team, right? But it does take 1 cycle. As I mentioned, the team to beat would be the 0 cycle Castrus and Evernight team. But hey, in terms of improvements though, I do think Mydei's teams is a step above like the rest. Like, you know, if you think about just using Castrus Evernight plus a Tribby versus Castrus Evernight plus a Cyrene, they're both just insane. They're gonna both 0 cycle. But for Mydei's team now, if you didn't have Cyrene for the setup, I don't think he would clear in the same amount of cycles, right? Maybe he'll take 1 extra cycle. So I feel like the impact is there. And it's mainly because of a really broken mechanic of as if like you're giving Mydei 1 extra turn to nuke with his best move. It's like instantaneous action and he still holds his own action bar. So he can essentially double his turn with like no repercussions pretty much. You're not gonna waste any action, and that is one of his biggest like con. He is not the fastest of characters, right? But with Cyrene giving him like extra actions like that with the extra Godsender Begot without costing charge and without taking his action away at all, it actually gives him a lot of tempo. And yeah, dude, Mydei enjoyers, you might want to think about this. Have the Cyrene be paired with your Mydei. But it all points back to this stuff. Would you want to like, you know, make your Mydei team better, or would you want to just pull for a version 4 team, or would you say a lot of the contributions of this team is not even Cyrene? Cyrene and it's more just the E1 tribute. I feel like it's a mix of everything that would decide if you're gonna pull. But let's not forget an E1 tribute like being very useful as well. So if you would take my opinion, I would say legitimately, if you're all about meta, then you would skip Cyrene, go wait for version 4. At least if you're trying to go for Cyrene, you wouldn't think, okay, I want my Mydei team to be improved. You wouldn't think that, because overall Mydei is again not the strongest a character. That's just a fact, right? Like you'll see in tier list, he's simply not a meta definer right now. Not saying he's weak, he's just not the strongest option ever. So if you're all about just meta no emotion, well, you don't have to go for Cyrene just to like bolster a Mydei team at all. But the team is pretty good though. Pretty sure we could have zero cycle if we have the right weakness and such. But yeah, that would be my verdict. So unless you're a big Mydei fan, well, Cyrene and Mydei is actually a very solid team, I won't lie. For all your Mydei fans out there, rejoice. But that'll be all for today. I think we've tried most of the archetypes already, but we'll see what we can cook up more. And there's a new game mode as well. We're going to try that out soon too. And that'll be all for now. And take care.